21-6 run in the second quarter, and they never looked back. But we're going to start the postgame show here, presented by Toyota, with the positive, Bully. The Hall of Famer Chris Woolen, Darrell Wright, and of course, Bonta Hill. Steph Curry now number 2 on the list, and it's just a matter of time before he's number 1 when he surpasses Ray Allen, sometime probably next season.
Congratulations, Steph Curry. Tremendous accomplishment, passing the great Hall of Famer Reggie Miller. And like you said, Bonta, just a matter of time before he goes past Ray Allen. And Darrell, then he'll start his own 3,000 club, and then probably start his own 4,000 club.
Ooh. Easy call right there. 4,000 is on the way, man. Congrats to Steph Curry. What a list up there. You know, the pass, another great shooter, and have one more in the way. I'm super proud of him and happy for him. I know it was an ugly night, but what another milestone.
You know what was beautiful to see? Very appropriate that he was in the Oakland uniform.
The call.
Yes, and then that three that put him ahead of Reggie Miller, right here, the relocation.
It's a classic Curry
That's
three.
just a standard Steph Curry play. Make a move, give it up, get it back, include your teammates. Just a phenomenal player. And like I said, congratulations, a tremendous accomplishment.
And Reggie, your boy, Bully.
That's my guy.
Your boy, Reggie. I've had the best seat in the house and calling a lot of your games, Steph Curry. Simply greatness. Congrats. But the job isn't done. Jesus Shuttlesworth, a.k.a. Ray Allen, is waiting on you.
You know what's so beautiful is the respect that Steph has for Reggie and how proud Reggie is of Steph Curry. So it's a beautiful thing to see that fraternity of great players and the respect that they pass on to each other.
Yeah, I love to see that, you know, the OG give him love, you know. Records are made to be broken, right? And Reggie Miller gave him that love. So that's a great moment, and I'm pretty sure Steph is pretty proud of himself for that as well.
Anybody ever, I mean, Steph Curry's going to have this record. We saw James Harden on this list as well. He may get there soon in the 3,000 club with the way he jacks up three-pointers, no doubt about it. But anybody like Steph Curry you ever seen in your lifetime? I mean, Reggie was great. Ray Allen became great. Bird had it. I know he only attempted 3 or 2 threes a game in his career, but he was great. There's nobody like Steph Curry. He's literally changed the game.
He's definitely changed the game. The way he shoots the catch and shoot, off the dribble, ISO, he does it every other way you can, every way you can in the game. So just to see how he scores is just crazy. You know, the ISOs, off the pick and roll.
Relocate.
He does it all. So I've definitely never seen anybody shoot the 3-ball like him.
All right, let's go back out to Fitz and Buki, who called the game here. A rough one for the Golden State Warriors, but the one positive there with Steph Curry.
Well, we began the night talking about whether or not Utah was a title contender. Yes, it's early in the season, but they're breaking NBA records for threes. They play defense. They're all veterans except for Donovan Mitchell, and they play very well together.
When you can watch a team and go, man, I can't find a weakness.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to find a weakness with this Jazz team, and it's tough offensively, so solid, so many playmakers, so many shooters. And then they go inside, outside. They can hit you with the pick and rolls to Gobert. Then they kick it out for the three-point shooting. It's so tough to track all the shooters around because they move so well without the ball. And defensively, they're solid too. So this is a legit championship contender.
Well, when you think about it for the Warriors, think of the week for the Warriors. Beat the Lakers, beat the Spurs, ugly one against the Knicks, and then Utah's rolling. They've won 8 in a row. That's the Warriors season right there. 2 great bright spots in the Lakers-Spurs wins and 2 ones, the Knicks and the Jazz. And that's what makes next week so important because Minnesota twice, and then you're looking at Phoenix and Detroit. There's no should wins, but this is not Lakers, Clippers, Spurs, Utah. This is an opportunity for the Warriors to play better.
And there's going to be games like this game tonight and the Knicks game, and you have to realize that as a player and just stay engaged and make sure you're doing your preparation. You talked about next week, you're going up against the struggling Minnesota team. You would hope to at least have a nice game and come away from those 2 games saying, okay, we played well, and then you live with the results. And then Phoenix, that's a tough team in the West with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. You got your hands full there with that backcourt, and they got some other pieces too, DeAndre Ayton. So they run a lot of pick and roll as well. You're going to have to work on your pick and roll defense.
For sure.
You're going to have to watch a lot of film and figure out where we can get better, guarding the 3-ball, all those different things, guarding pick and roll, and then get that flow back on offense that you had in the Spurs game, the last win.
Yeah, and I think the thing, too, is it's probably a good time to pause for a second and appreciate the brilliance of Steph Curry. Is that passing Reggie Miller, you know, he's going to pass Ray Allen eventually, but, you know, last year was Steph having the broken hand. the fun went out of a lot of Warrior basketball. The fun's back with him.
Yeah.
And, you're missing Clay, which hurts, but at least you're getting to watch Steph every night, and that's always wonderful.
And I saw Steph after he was done with the game, and he was talking to Leandro Barbosa. If I had to guess what was said in there, I'm thinking Leandro probably said something like that. Hang in there.
Yeah.
Just hang in there,
Yep.
fella. And he's playing as well as he can, and he's going to go hard and be aggressive and try to diagnose all these crazy gimmicky defenses that people are throwing at him. This is a really good defensive team. It wasn't really gimmicky tonight. They were just solid, but he still had a really nice game and didn't play in the fourth quarter. So he's incredibly talented and super mentally tough. And that's what you love about Steph. No matter what this season throws at him, his mental game is still going to be on point.
Yeah, so the Warriors 2-2 this week, which was a very weird way to get to 2-2. 4 games next week. Let's see how they handle what should be a schedule that gives them a bit more opportunity.
Yeah, no doubt about that. The Warriors take on Minnesota in 2 games Monday and Wednesday night. The back-to-back in Phoenix Thursday, and the Detroit Pistons next Saturday right here at Chase Center. As we look at the Western Conference standings, boy, the Warriors, overnight they dropped down to 8th. Right now they're out of the playoff picture, but it's all about the Utah Jazz tonight. They're right now the top dog up there with the Clippers. Utah's pretty freaking good. They came into the game averaging 16 made three-pointers per game, which was the tops in the league. Tonight, they were 20 of 50. They did not disappoint from beyond the arc, and that team is really good. Defensively, offensively, they pass the ball around. They're playing faster under Quinn Snyder. Utah, don't sleep on them, Darrell. They're pretty good.
Yeah, you can't sleep on them. They have a solid team from top to bottom, like Mully talked about in pregame. They got 3-4 guys coming off that bench that are legit starters, in this league that had starter minutes. So this is a good team. They share the ball well. They're well coached. I think Coach Snyder is doing a great job with them. They're running the floor, and it's even. When I check the box score, it's always even. Guys are getting their shots. They're moving the basketball. So it's going to be scary for a lot of guys in the West with the Utah Jazz rolling in.
Yeah, they're a championship contender. They're at the top of the West. And I think they're going to stay there all season long, along with the Lakers and Clippers, because of their experience, the continuity of their roster, the familiarity with each other. And the Western Conference is as deep as all these great teams.
Right.
And I think after 3 and 4, it's going to be a dogfight to the end to see who finishes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, because we have that play-in situation.
No doubt, yeah.
So you cannot afford to go on an extended losing streak. You've got to do what the Warriors have done up until this point.
Right.
Beat the teams you're supposed to beat, and then split or upset some of the higher ranked teams. This has been a tough 2-game stretch. As Fitz and Buki mentioned, we got Minnesota coming in. They've got to take care of business there. And on the back end of that second game, they've got to go to Phoenix, another much improved team with Chris Paul running the show there.
No doubt about that. Detroit, the fighting DeLon Wright's coming in next Saturday. You got to go 3-1 next week for the Golden State Warriors. You want to make the playoffs. You talk about Utah making the threes. Mike Conley Jr. traded last year, struggled with the Utah Jazz. He's back, and he's balling, averaging over 16 points a game. You saw him tonight, and I can't wait to hear.
Guys back in the game, inserting them with the second unit. I think they're going to do their best job at, finding the right combinations. But it's still an early season. It's all about building that chemistry day to day and finding the right combinations that work.
And it wasn't too long ago we were talking about the Utah Jazz.
Is up for debate. So what should Steve Kerr do now? Because this starting lineup for the last 5 games have been outscored by big numbers in the first quarter, I should say, by the Jazz, 9 points. The Knicks outscored them by 9. The Lakers outscored them by 12. And then the Nuggets outscored them by 13 in the first quarter a couple Thursdays ago. So what should Steve Kerr do here with the starting lineup?
I still think, as he said, he's still feeling this team out. Right? We've had some good stretches. I think what we've learned, obviously, after 16 games, they're about a 500 team,
right?
Which is the lower level playoff team. That's what they've proven up until this point. Now they've had some really good wins.
Yep.
They've just had back-to-back tough losses. And I think he's done a good job manipulating minutes, not so much the startings or the bench.
Right.
Like we talked a lot about Andrew Wiggins playing with the second unit. We talked about Oubre playing with the second. They're starters. We talked about how well he's used them with the second unit. So he's still trying to solidify exactly, and he's not getting that consistent effort each and every night. Probably the most consistent players have been Steph, obviously, and Andrew Wiggins. After that, it's been the game-to-game feel for Steve. And the biggest factor is the roster has had a huge turnover.
Right.
a short training camp.
Yep.
And that's why the Utah Jazz, the LA Clippers, and the LA Lakers are sitting up top. They have that consistency of their roster. And obviously, they got great players, but they've got the same roster coming back. So the shortened training camp hasn't affected those teams as much, right, Darrell?
No, 100%. And, you know, like he mentioned, this Utah Jazz team has been together for a while. And, you know, the past Warriors team had played together. So he understands what that chemistry really means. So I think they're, you know, go back to the film and look at the numbers and see what combinations work the best and try to put the best players out there on the court. So either that's, you know, changing the starting lineup or bringing guys out.
You know, maybe the biggest issue going on around the team. Obviously tonight you guys went down 19-2. Where are you at on that unit? Steve has remained pretty firm that he thinks long term that, you know, it is your best defensive unit. Where are you at on it?
It's work in progress. Obviously, the numbers